Hey guys, it's Dana and it's Tuesday, so we're going to talk about money. And I want to share with you 8 things that I do cheap out on and 8 things that I never go for cheap on. All right, so first off, the first thing I never go for cheap on, I do look for bargains though, and look for deals, look for sales. That's the difference between frugal and cheap, but I don't want to buy cheap quality. Diapers. Okay, we cloth diapered our kids, and so some of the diapers we bought were less expensive, but if they are falling apart immediately, then I don't want them. I want them to last. And when we did buy disposable diapers, which we used for our first child, I always got the best diapers that we could get. I didn't want to buy cheap diapers that were going to be irritating my daughter's skin, and we actually bought chlorine-free diapers at that time, so I don't go cheap on diapers. I'm not going to mess with my baby's skin. Now, along those same lines, I never go cheap with shoes. Shoes to me, I think, are so important, and we try to make sure we have good quality shoes for the kids and for ourselves because you don't want to mess with your feet. I actually don't wear high heels ever because I want to make sure that when I'm in my 80s, I'm able to have really good feet that aren't... I think sometimes when you wear heels, or I see women in the office where I work, they wear heels, and it looks like their feet are in pain. Some of them I know have had to go to get surgeries done on their feet, and so I want really good quality shoes. I want shoes that fit right, especially for the kids as their feet are growing. I don't want their feet to be jammed into shoes that are too small because then it's going to mess up their toes. I don't want their toes to curl, and I want to make sure that they have enough room in their shoes and that they have enough padding to provide support for them because your feet are your foundation. And that's so important to me. So I don't like to cheap out on shoes that are going to fall apart or don't fit right. They're not providing the right kind of cushioning. So I think good quality shoes are really important. Laundry detergent. I do not like to cheap out on laundry detergent. If we get a couple times Jim has bought detergent and that was on sale, really discounted low, and I said, what are you doing? And the kids got rashes, right? So I don't like to mess around with detergent. We buy free and clear detergent. We try to find coupons, try to buy it when it's on sale, and bulk up on it when it is on sale. But I don't want to buy low-end laundry detergent because that's on our sheets, pillows, the kids' clothes. So I really want high-quality laundry detergent. Trash bags. I don't want to go cheap on trash bags because then they're going to split apart. The worst thing ever is when you pull a trash bag out of your trash can and it just explodes on the bottom. You don't want that. You don't want it to break apart and have trash littered through your house as you're trying to carry the bag out to the trash can. So definitely strong, heavy-duty trash bags are in order for our family. Coffee. Okay, so I don't go out for coffee, and I actually haven't really been drinking a lot of coffee, but I really do love coffee, and I don't like to buy the Folgers instant kind of coffee. I want good coffee beans. If I drink the cheap stuff, it actually gives me a headache, and we have free coffee in the office at work, and I won't drink it because it makes me sick. I can't drink cheap coffee. It has to be good quality coffee beans. And I definitely not anything out of a can. I can't drink it. That's where I kind of am a little bit snobby with my coffee. Deodorant. I don't like to skimp on deodorant because deodorant is right under my armpit and near my breast. And I do feel strongly that if you don't have an all-natural deodorant, this is for me. I just feel like I like to have an all-natural. I use Tom's of Maine, and it just makes me feel better. I don't like that seeping into my skin so close to my chest. And so deodorant is really important to me to have a good, natural one. I don't want to buy something cheap with a lot of chemicals in it. And actually on my honeymoon in the Bahamas, this is so vivid in my mind, I was in the bathroom stall, and there were these women in the bathroom at the sink talking about someone they knew who had gotten breast cancer, and they were talking about the antiperspirant and deodorant. I don't know, I just remember that. I was so young, but I remember that conversation. Ever since then, I've always tried to get a natural deodorant. So I don't care what it costs, I'm going to buy that. Tipping, if we go out, which we don't go out to restaurants a lot, but when I go out to get my hair cut or something, or if I'm in a situation where I got a tip, I usually always tip 20%. I feel a sense of connection to people who work service jobs. I just feel like I could never skimp on a tip. They're working really hard, and so I always do at least 15-20% tip every time we do anything. Cars, we don't buy new cars and we don't buy like fancy cars, but anytime we get a car, which we pay cash for, we won't finance. Anytime we get a car, anytime I've bought a car, I'm very adamant about reviewing the Consumer Reports Guide, and so I will not get a car that fails or is low on the Consumer Reports. Like, it has to score highly, otherwise I won't get it. So I want to get a good quality car that, you know, has been rated well, that I don't think is going to break down on us. We will buy a junker, meaning it has high mileage, but it's not going to be a junker, if that makes sense. All right, some things that I do cheap out on, and it's fine with me. Number one is toilet paper. Not everybody feels this way. All right, so listen, we had our entire sewer line replaced. Not because of our toilet paper, but I do feel strongly that like the thick toilet paper, like the 3-ply or whatever, the expensive toilet paper, it's not good for your pipes. And so I actually prefer just the single-ply Scott tissue paper. That's my favorite because it doesn't shed, you don't have to worry about your pipes, and it just kind of dissolves really quickly. So I prefer the cheaper toilet paper, and I don't need any extra cushioning. So I'm fine. So I'm good with the cheaper toilet paper, but not everybody feels that way. Also, bras. I don't buy expensive bras because I hate wires and all that lace and stuff. I'm a very simple girl. I prefer just like simple cotton. Prefer just no bra at all is probably best. So I don't spend a lot of money on undergarments. Haircuts. I don't get expensive haircuts. I sort of go cheap on that. I go wherever. I haven't had the same hairdresser. I go to a different hairdresser every time. I go random times, different places. I don't spend a ton of money on hair. Purses, I could care less what the name brand is for my bag, as long as it's functional and cute and I like it. Any kind of purses or bags, I'm not snobby about that, and I totally go cheap on my bags. I feel like they just get beat to heck, and I usually just use the same one until it falls apart, and then I move on to something else. Furniture, I love IKEA, and IKEA, I think, has really inexpensive pieces of furniture, and in our house, because we have young kids, I feel like furniture and things just get beat up anyway, and so I don't really want expensive furniture in my house. Wine is something else that I go cheap on. Usually if I drink, which maybe is a glass of wine a year, then Jim and I usually just buy a bottle of wine for like $7 from a local winery, and it's very inexpensive, and I think it's delicious, and I'm fine with it. It's good, so I don't spend a lot of money on booze. And then clothes. I do look for good designer brands in like Goodwill, but I am totally fine if it's not, as long as it seems to be pretty sturdy. So I kind of do go cheap on clothes, and I don't know. I really could care less who makes it, as long as it fits well, looks good, it's warm and comfy, then I'm all for it. Mattresses is kind of another one, but for the kids' mattresses, we kind of have gone cheap on those because they have accidents. I'm not going to spend a ton of money on a kid's mattress when they're going to get soiled and need to be replaced soon anyway. But for adult mattresses, yeah, I'd say we don't go cheap on that because that can last, 12 years? What's the average amount of time you have a mattress? I don't know, but for little kids, definitely we go cheap on little kid mattresses. All right, so those are 8 things that I go cheap on and 8 things that I don't. What are some things that you go cheap on and some other things that you refuse to? Leave a comment down below so we can all read them. I think it's fun. And also, maybe there's some things that you could go cheap on that you didn't think of, or some things you shouldn't be.